So you have to mobilize every aspect of your society defense. Now, for smaller countries, you could say that for smaller countries, more or less every war is existential. Because if you're being taken over by a bigger ally, they will just steamroll you, and that's it. That's the end of your sovereignty. So traditionally, total defense has been linked to smaller countries. So, for example, Finland. During the Cold War, you had Sweden did the same. Switzerland currently does the same. Former Yugoslavia does it. Currently, I think Singapore has a total defense model. Israel has a total defense model.
Yeah.
So smaller states who perceive themselves to be under threat do this total defense model.
Yeah.
So this was the case throughout sort of the Cold War. And the idea was, alongside their total defense model, they were also going to stay neutral. So they didn't want to take sides between NATO and the USSR. So they essentially made the decision, we don't want to be invaded by the USSR again, so we'll be friendly with them. But equally, we want to be friendly with NATO because we don't want to be perceived as being on the Russian side, which we're not, because realistically, the Finns knew that they were more European than Russian. So then, fast forward a number of years, we get to the 90s, USSR collapses, loads of other European countries in particular end up drawing down their militaries because they're like, right, it's the era of peace. Francis Fukuyama, end of history, capitalism's won, liberal democracy is going to spread, happy days, it's going to be peaceful now. Finns, because of this cultural scarring, said, nah, we don't buy that, because whatever comes next, we can only rely on ourselves. So they decided not to get rid of their total defense model. But because of how warfare was going, it drifted more into sort of the war on terror, more irregular warfare. They then updated their total defense model to include security as well. And then it became more of a security model rather than defense model. And what I mean by that is the difference between defense is just sort of military defense. Security covers lots of other things, including like human security, the economy, loads of other stuff. So they decided to do that, and they decided that they would create a model in which the 7 vital functions of society would have to be protected at all times, and they'd have to be functioning at all times. So in all circumstances, whether that's during peacetime, crisis, war, whatever that might be. And they developed that in like 2003, I think. And then moving forward, you then have the war in Ukraine in 2014, not 2022. And that's when you start seeing Finland leaning very heavily more towards the NATO side, the European side. And then moving forward to obviously 2022, you then see them explicitly joining NATO. And while they have joined NATO, they are still prepared to defend themselves as they are.